Hi, everyone. Welcome to MaxWeb Video Podcast. I am so excited to have all of you here. For all of our friends that are listening on Spotify and Google, that's wonderful. But whenever you have time, come back and watch the recording. We're going to have it on YouTube and Facebook because our friend Hassan is going to have some beautiful slides that are going to be filled with great information. So thank you again for listening in. I want to introduce you to my dear friend Hassan. I would let him tell you a bit about what he does. He is not just a great human, he really knows everything about SEO. So Hassan, welcome.
Thank you, Anna, for having me. It's a great honor. And just I can tell you a little bit about myself. So my name is Hassan. I always like to say my age because I'm getting old. So I'm 37. I've been in the business for a lot of years, especially SEO kind of work. I do have an agency now where we kind of focus on helping our clients benefit from SEO. People who do e-commerce, people who do affiliate, people who kind of just have SaaS B2B businesses. So anybody who can benefit from organic traffic and the value that it has, we can always help them. And we have a lot of good what they like to call golden nuggets. A lot of very valuable information that's going to help you today.
Well, I'm very excited. So many friends here. I don't know if you can see the chat to the right, but everyone is saying hi to you. Everything is gonna be live on Facebook later. And how I said, I'm gonna repeat myself just for a second here. If you are listening in to us on Spotify, Google, Apple Podcast, we are everywhere. Please make sure you set some time aside to watch our podcast on video later because I'm going to pull some slides and I know Hassan is very excited to walk you guys through it. So Hassan, you have the stage, my friend.
All right. Okay. So in order not to make it any boring, I'm going to go through and feel free to interrupt me at any time if you have any questions.
Absolutely.
Questions. All right. So we're going to talk about content and technical SEO. So these are like two things that we were able to kind of leverage to increase traffic for one website without having to worry about building links. And anybody who knows anything about SEO knows that link building is very important. It's extremely important if you want to rank high. But we didn't even have to do this. We didn't have to worry about building links for this specific website because it had a lot of content. It has a lot of pages that were sort of just basically not showing up on Google because of a lot of technical issues. All right, so the story is we took a dying website from receiving about 500 organic visits a month to getting more than 10,000. And as of today, as of June 8th, it's getting almost up to 14,000 visits a month. So this is a great kind of success story, and it's not really something too complicated. So as I say here, we signed an NDA. We can't really share the URL, but the thing is, we worked on this site and we're still working on it to get to these numbers, and we're still working on it to get it to a higher level of traffic. The only thing that I can say about the website is it operated in the B2B events industry, an industry that we thought was going to die with the lockdown, with the pandemic last year. But that didn't really happen. If anything, it actually thrived and kept on growing, even with all the events being kind of canceled and stuff. So the only thing that the site owners did, they switched from working on the live events to digital events, and that was actually a good thing for them because they were able to sell an unlimited number of tickets instead of having a specific set of like tickets to sell for a physical location. Let's look at some numbers here. So we have November 2019 compared to November 2020. So if you look at the blue one on top, that's about 1,300 daily visitors in November 2020. And if you look back at November 2019, when we started working on it, it was less than 100, almost about 7,500 or 75 visitors a day, which is such a huge increase. And the site again is getting a lot more traffic as you can see.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's a pretty big increase, and it's not just it didn't just happen. It's not an exception. It didn't just happen once. It happened on many websites that we worked on. So the question that you're going to be asking yourself is, how did our team achieve these results? So in order to make it a little bit easier for everyone, I kind of like split the tasks into four main categories. So we did an SEO audit, content audit, and we worked on content research strategy. And then the last one would be, did we work on links or not? So the thing is, it all started with a deep SEO audit. So this is very technical, there's a lot of code, there's a lot of issues that we had to fix. And I'll go in a little bit into detail in this because that's one of the things that you need benefit from this presentation.
Right.
So there are two things. We like to use Ahrefs, that's the tool that we have. But there's two others that you can use. There's one called Screaming Frog, and there's one called SEMrush. SEMrush is a web app, just like Ahrefs. It's per month, it's a monthly basis. Screaming Frog is a desktop app that you can download, you can pay for it and download. But Screaming Frog do have a free kind of limit that you can crawl your website up to 500 pages on the website. So if you have a small site, 100, 200, 300 pages, you can still use it without having to pay. But for Ahrefs and SEMrush, they're worth every penny because they offer you a lot of features that are gonna save you time and make finding issues easier without having to hire somebody to do a crawl. And that's how it works now. You have to kind of pay to be able to benefit from these things. And because there's always people who are against paying for tools, especially when they're starting out, because they say, oh, I could use that money somewhere else. But I can tell you that when paying for these tools, you can just use them for a month or two for probably $200 and $300, and it's going to be worth every penny because they're going to save you a lot of time and a lot of headache and make things easier for you. So why do we do the audit? So we do it to identify two things: technical issues and on-page optimization issues. What does Ahrefs do? And it's the same thing with SEMrush and other tools. They give you a health score. And what this health score means, it means that how visible the pages are, to Google and other search engines. So if you have a 63 out of 100, that means only 63% of your website is visible. The rest is kind of hard for Google to see. There are a lot of pages with errors, as you can see here. We're talking about 404 pages. Page has no links or links to broken pages. Missing reciprocal hreflang. 500 error kind of deals, / URL, duplicate pages without canonical. Sounds way too technical for a lot of people, but it's something that you have to go through, especially if you have an affiliate site with a lot of articles, a lot of things that you have to fix these. The good thing is, if you have a blog that has just articles, most of these things are very easily, you can fix them without any issues, just with tools on WordPress, for instance. Just a free plugin, and we'll talk more about how to fix these. But if you have a more complicated website with product pages, or you're doing e-commerce, you're selling stuff, you have payment processors and things like that, things might get a little complicated. And that's when we try to work on hiring, the help of a developer who can help with these issues.
And in this case, I see you're showing us the score is 63. So in my opinion, that's obviously something that needs to be improved. Does it ever happen to run a page through that and get a more than 90%, like more than 90?
Yeah, I mean that's the goal when you run, because what we do is any website we kind of stumble upon. There's always going to be things that need to be fixed, especially when you make constant changes. You add in new articles or you're adding new pages to the site. There's always going to be issues like this.
Right.
Some of them, the good thing is some of them are easy to fix, and some of them might require somebody to. Sorry. Sorry about that. Okay, so that's the thing. It's some of them are very easy to fix. Some of them might be hard to fix. Uh, okay, all right. Yeah, let's talk about this slide right here. So major technical aspects that you can diagnose. What happened? Excuse you.
I know.
One second.
I'm actually I'll take over. Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem. I'll take over. All right. So, you guys, SEO, I will let Hassan deal with the noise. I feel like the last 3 times we had the podcast, we had to deal with a lot of, background noise. But that's a good thing because, we're all very busy and it happens. But what I can do for you until we get Hassan back is tell you what are the best search offers. We have a bunch of really good search offers. And when I say they're good, I know that because when I look at the dashboard at our affiliates and what they do, best with on search, I can see the top offers. So if you are just starting to work with us, even if you're working with us for quite some time now and you're just curious about the best search offers, I think a beautiful one for you to start with is Sugar Balance. That's always very strong for GDN as well, not just organic search. Melitox is another very, very good one. We have a new offer, Folitol. Usually, if you go to the campaign page, you can see on the first page the ones that usually do well for all the traffic sources. That's
I'm
that's
back.
I was just telling everyone about the best search offers they can run. So you guys remember Sugar Balance, Melitox, Diabacore. On the campaign page, you see a bunch of them. So don't worry, it sounds much better.
All right, so I have to excuse me about what happened.
No problem.
So yeah, so we were talking about finding out technical issues, and some of them might be easier to fix, some of them are hard to fix, and when it comes to being hard, it just means that you have to work with a freelance developer who can easily fix these things. If the good thing is if you have WordPress or any of the popular kind of like platforms, it's easy for you to to find people who are familiar with it, unless you're working with a kind of obscure kind of coding language or programming language. Other than that, everything else should be, what they call mainstream. Everybody knows how to fix them. You don't have to find super specialized people to help you with. So that what we're looking at here is hreflang, canonical tags, HTTP versus HTTPS. That means if your website is secure, sometimes if you do it wrong, if you do it the wrong way, you might end up having two complete copies of the same website, one in a non-secure version and one in a secure version. So you have to pay attention to having just one version where you don't have any issues with Google, because then Google ends up seeing, or other search engines keep seeing, two versions of the same site. So if you have like 50 pages, Google might end up seeing two versions, like 50 here and 50 there. So
Right.
ended up with, and that means that they're not going to index any of them. So you have to be careful with a lot of like these things. The speed of the website is also something extremely important. We always talk about it. There's an update coming up in the next few weeks where Google is going to start considering the speed of your website. They call it, page speed insights. If it's fast, if it's good, they're not going to have a problem, putting it on the first page. And indexability, that's also something that if you fix these things, you're not going to have an issue getting your pages indexed. But when talking about canonical tags, that's when some random pages get generated. So in front of you, you can only see one page, but Google sees like 3 or 4 versions. So you put like a canonical tag that makes sure the pages don't show up. This all sounds, I don't know, crazy, too advanced, but it's something that's extremely important. You always have to start with this. And a lot of people kind of end up not understanding what it is, and they end up getting overcharged by people who kind of just act like they know what they're doing with this, but it's in a lot of ways very simple to understand. But anyways, this is something that you have to always look at, always fix first before moving on to any other thing. The next is on-page optimization. Technically, when you talk about on-page optimization, it's the meta descriptions, the title tags, the H1s, H2s, the alt text and the images, alternative text to images that people can, like the bots can read. What this means is I actually, can you guys hear me now? I think somebody said that they were not able to hear.
I
Let me
can
know.
hear better. Yeah, let's see. Anyone else, if you can hear us, okay, let us know. I know Williams, hi, said the sound is not clear. Yeah, just anyone else, let us know.
Yeah. If it's not very clear, just let us know so we can, see if I can change anything. But I think the microphone's pretty close to me. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Nicholas.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Beautiful.
Cool. So on-page optimization is technically part of the audit, but I put it aside because it has to do with, it has to do with SEO, like pure SEO, because it's not something that a developer can fix. It's something that somebody who has SEO experience, it's content meets technical, as in you have to decide what kind of titles, what kind of words, what kind of keywords you're going to put in that title, what kind of words you're going to put in the meta description. The meta description is what shows up on Google. The few. It's just think of it as an ad, like a Google ad. What do you want to show up there? Do you want to have a clear CTA, clear call to action? And you have to treat it almost like an ad because you have if you add in Google Search Console, it kind of counts impressions, so it almost feels like an ad. So you want to treat it as much of an ad as possible because you're putting it out there so people can click, so they can go to your site. So you have to be very careful about what to put in title tags and meta descriptions, and so you can entice people, ask them to, you can actually put a lot of what you call a clear call to action, so you can benefit from those impressions, from those having those people click on your search results. Let's see. Let's move on to the next one. All right, so going back to fixing these issues. So fixing on-page issues involves using a plugin or just an app. So if you're on WordPress, you can just use Rank Math. So that's the
tool you guys use. Nice. That was my next question.
Yes.
So if you're on WordPress, we recommend that one. Nice.
Yes. So Rank Math is free for WordPress. For Shopify, there's SEO Manager. It's paid, but it saves you a lot of time, obviously. Most of these apps are usually just $5 a month. And in your Shopify, it makes it a lot easier. BigCommerce, for instance, for something that, like this is another platform that does e-commerce, it's built most of these. For other platforms, any other platform, you'll have to hire an SEO savvy developer, not just on-page optimization, but all the technical stuff. If you're talking about a site built from scratch with PHP or any other programming language, you have to just hire somebody who knows what they're doing. And it always helps because if you download the audit from Ahrefs or SEMrush, for instance, you can just forward it to the developer, give them access, they'll know what to do, they'll give you a timeline, they fix it, you can run the audit again, gives you a score of 95 or 100, then you're good to go. But if you make any major changes to the site, you can always, if you make any major changes to the site, you can always, do another audit and kind of work with the developer. I see a question here from Olivia. We can use Yoast SEO plugin. Yes, you can. Yoast SEO is good, but the reason why I recommend Rank Math is because Rank Math is a lot better. It offers more, even if it's free. So some of the features on Rank Math are free, and on the Yoast SEO are actually paid. So and it's it's universally kind of agreed upon that it's much better, and that's what we use right now on all the WordPress websites that we work on. All right.
Nice.
The content audits. This is the next step. The next step is the content audit. So this is
beautiful.
Interest, yeah. So let's say you have a website, like with 5,000 pages. It has a low health score and Ahrefs, for instance. And from your analytics, you're getting organic traffic only to a few of the pages. So we say like the 80-20 rule, but and here it's more like the 95-5 rule. Not just, so the first thing you do if you have a website that only receives traffic to a little bit of the pages that you have, the first thing you have to do is do the technical audit and fix all the technical issues like we talked about just now. And this is something that I never really say, but I always guarantee that you'll see an instant increase in traffic right after fixing these issues. Usually takes about a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, up to 4 weeks to start seeing results after finishing the audit and fixing all the issues on the site. Because then again, you basically just showed Google, yeah, there's other pages that exist and that they can actually index them. All right, so here we have the other part of the content audit, or the first part really, is working on identifying the pages that are not performing well. So we're talking about, like, this is just an example. This is what shows up on Ahrefs, for instance. So you have, for the US, there's only six keywords. Let's see, like the one that says Pinterest case study receives a volume of 40 searches per month. The difficulty, the KD, means keyword difficulty, is 3. And I'm on position 44. That means I'm on page 4. Sorry, somebody's building something. I have to apologize. If you can hear me just fine, I'll just keep going. So
this is what happens when you do stuff live, you know? I mean, we take the risk.
This has never happened. When I do this at home, I usually just...
but yeah, interesting scenarios too. So if you want to go tell them, I will wait.
I have somebody taking care of it. If
No,
they can just pause for like 30 minutes.
I told them to take care of it.
Yeah.
Not a worry. Go ahead.
That's okay. Yeah, so I was saying that, like, I am in page 4. My website is ranked on page 4. So this is where the content audit kind of comes in. I look at that page that's ranked on page 4 on that specific keyword, and I compare it with the pages that are on the first, and I see the difference. What they call it is the content gap. So there's tools to do that, and I can show you exactly like how we do that. Aldemed, I think, says what tool we're going to be talking about. It's called Surfer SEO. So we'll get to it in a minute. So we have these tools that we use that we can put in our content, so they can compare to the first 3, that are ranking, and the first 5, and then and then it tells you what you need to do. It basically just tells you, okay, look, Google already gives preference to these guys because they have this number of words and this number of images and this number of paragraphs, and they have these specific keywords in there. So what you do is you basically compare what you have with what they have, and so you can start to match with what they have. Like, you only have 2 paragraphs, you only have 500 words, you only have 1 image, and they said the average would be 5 images, the average would be 6 paragraphs, the average would be 1,500 words. Right. And so that's how it keeps going. So you do that, and you see, and this is not really guaranteed, but we've seen an 80% success rate of all the articles that we worked on. So it's usually like stuck on page 2 or stuck on page 3, and then it moves up to like at least the bottom of page 1 after a few weeks when you make those changes. Let's see. Okay, there you go. Okay, so yeah, the next slide is Google Search Console. These are the tools that we use to, work. The tools that we use to kind of like identify all the things that need to be fixed. Again, we work on the existing pages on the site and try to optimize them, and we also work on trying to find other opportunities. We're talking other opportunities like keywords that are related that we haven't covered before, or maybe there's a product that we want to write a product review about. Here, I'm going to try to give a more of a relevant example. Let's say you have a product that you want to promote. What do? You write a review about it. And we've been doing this for years. I mean, I remember one of my very first checks from an affiliate network back in 2008. I wrote a review. I drove some traffic to it, and I made a sale within a week because it was very easy back then. Because it was just child's play pretty much. Now it's a little bit more complicated, but it's still very valuable. That's what they call it. The golden goose is organic traffic. Because you work for a month or two, optimize, do stuff, and then you're probably on the page one, and you could probably end up in page one for years, and not just like a month or two. And if you're there for years, you can't really count how many affiliate commissions you're going to be, how many conversions you're going to score by being there. And we've seen that countless times over the years. It's well worth the trouble at first. So that's the thing. What we do here is we look at Google Search Console, Ahrefs, SEMrush, analytics, and we compare the numbers from each one and see which keywords are bringing us the most traffic. For the pages that are bringing us traffic, we treat them differently because they're already there. So what we try to do is we work on internal linking. It's called internal links. So we build links from those pages to other pages on the site, and it drives what they call authority. So it helps some of the pages that are not ranking, even if after we did the content audit or the technical fixes and whatnot, we bring in internal links. So this is just a pretty silly example of how internal links work. You basically just hyperlink a specific keyword or phrase, and you send the link specifically to whatever article you want. And this works really well because, again, because that's how Google works still. It doesn't know what to prioritize. So when you start sending links from this to that, it understands it kind of follows the trail of the links, and it gives priority to those pages that you're linking to from the main. And we're not talking menu links or sidebar links.
Right.
We're talking about in-content links that are within the content. Those are more powerful than site-wide links from the footer or the menu or the sidebar. So that's what you should be looking at. And you can also play around with the anchor text. And the anchor text is basically what you see here. Image sharing, social media service. This is an anchor text. So you kind of pick and choose what kind of anchor text you want to highlight, so you can link to a specific article on your website. And you do that. There are actually tools out there, if you have WordPress, that you can actually purchase, like plugins that give you ideas specifically. Okay, you can interlink this with this. You can create a link here with this specific anchor text. There's one that comes to mind. It's called a Whisper Link. It's a WordPress plugin. It's a WordPress plugin. It costs about $50. And if you don't really need it if you have a 10-page website, a 20-page website. But if you have more than 100 and you want to start doing internal links, you might want to look at it. Look at it as an option to add to your website, because it's going to make building those internal links really, really useful. And again, even by doing this, just internal links alone, you're going to see an increase in traffic after a few weeks. All right, and going back to the content. The content here, we're talking about one of the advantages of doing SEO in 2021 is we have these AI tools that can help you compare what, like the first 3 or first 5 results on Google with what you already have. Or if it doesn't have to be for something that's already existent, if it's something that you plan on creating content for. So you put in a keyword, whatever keyword you want to put, and it tells you what you need to aim for. 1,600 words, 5 images, this and that. This is how many times you should mention this keyword, and this is how many times you should mention this keyword. And when you create it at first from scratch, it might take a few weeks to show up, but it actually works. So it helps with existing content and content that you plan on creating. So it helps a lot with content calendar. You have maybe 10 products you want to promote. Do you want to write one article on each of these products? Just one review each, or do you want to write maybe a product? Let's say it's a health supplement. I don't know, something to do with. This is just a random example. Let's say you want to do losing belly fat, for instance.
Right.
This is just this is my issue. I'm trying to lose weight. So The thing is, so let's see, like there's a supplement that might help you lose belly fat, and you write a review about it, and that's your money page. Let's say that's the money where you want to make money because you have those affiliate links in there. Do you want to just write one and promote and leave it as is, or do you want to write supporting articles? Maybe the importance of losing belly fat. I don't know the symptoms of I guess whatever side effects of having a belly fat for a long time after 35, or another article that probably mentions after, or people who are over 40. If you're over 40, how long is it going to take you to lose belly fat? So if you want to write like a tiny network within your site of helpful articles about that specific article, we want people to go and click that affiliate link so you can make that affiliate commission. That's how it will help. It will help a lot because you're telling Google you're not just about the money, you're not just about the affiliate review. And there was an update just a month ago where people got hit because all they had on their website is just affiliate reviews. So you have to have informational, valuable content, and not just random review products and just affiliate links. So that's the idea. The idea that you shouldn't just be all over just the money, because then if you get hit, God forbid, by a manual review by somebody who works at the Google organic team, and you don't want them to strike you down or de-index or ban you completely from the search engines just because all they see when they're doing a manual review is 100% of the articles are just affiliate links. So you don't want to do that. You want to have some useful content. It's just like when you think about it when you're doing email marketing.
Exactly.
You're not gonna make money just by bombarding your list with affiliate offers. Sometimes or at least most of the time, you should be sending valuable information, give them reasons to come back, to your, and find value in what you have to offer. So by doing that, by putting informational articles, you're trying to help. You're trying to help people, and you're actually giving Google a reason to give you authority, give you priority, so you can actually rank a lot higher. This is another example of what Surfer SEO does. So the score that you can see here is the score. When you're actually writing the content on the side, it does give you a content score. So as you can see, it says here 1,500 words. That's well within the recommended 1,400, between 1,600. 21 headings. It only asks for 13 or 16, so you should probably make this a little bit less. Paragraphs, you have 33 paragraphs, only asking for 4. And here we have images, 3 or 4. So this is good. So that's why it gives you a score. And then when you click on topics or notes, or it tells you, it gives you even ideas of what to cover. And this is good for, so it gives you okay, this is what Google already prefers. So it just pretty much just shows you the ingredients and tells you how to do it, so you can do it, and then you're giving yourself.
How much did you say this is per month, approximately?
The Surfer SEO tool. Okay, this one starts at $50 and goes up to $200. So there's
giving you specifics, it's fantastic. Wow.
Yes, it is. It is very helpful. I mean, I know that this seems like a lot of work, but as I said earlier, it's
pays off.
Very, very well worth it, because again, it's not like you doing a little bit of work for social media, and then social media is it's a daily thing, it's a weekly thing. The feed kind of makes your things disappear over a little bit of time. You probably get 15 minutes of impressions or whatever, especially organic social media. But here, you do the work, and you're gonna be there for a while. Even if only 20% of the articles they create or the content they create actually gets traction or gets ranked, that's still a win, especially because, again, we're talking about organic, traffic. Organic traffic means people are already in research mode, already in purchasing kind of phase. They're there to either make up their mind or buy specifically. So if you do reviews do work, and sometimes we like to mix it with email. We have like some affiliate websites where we just try to collect emails that people don't buy right away, and then we try to nurture them into kind of like becoming a subscriber, a loyal subscriber. We kind of try to get the engagement up. So a mix of SEO and affiliate is an explosive kind of combination. It's amazing, and you get people who are already again in research mode, and you mix that with this with email marketing, collecting emails of people who are already in research mode. So you just basically just help them make up their mind. And the good thing about it, you can sell high ticket items with this. You can sell $1,000 things, courses, products, subscriptions. People who are they're in for the long haul. There's so much you can actually sell. You can sell a house, you can sell a car, not just supplements. There's a lot you can sell. Another point I want to point out here is content research strategy is adding more pages to your website, basically, but not just doing it randomly. Again, you have to do your keyword research, and you can do that with the help of tools like Ahrefs or SEMrush. So they help you identify all these other opportunities out there, so you can create more content, so you can rank for them. And as I write here, it says more pages equals more traffic. So the more pages you have, more traffic you're gonna get. But that doesn't mean it doesn't actually mean that you can just create any random pages. They have to have a purpose. They have to answer a few questions. They have to add some sort of value. That's the gist of it all. I think I have a question. Williams Devin, Olivia says, how many times I can.
Yeah, I'm just going to read it in case, because we have so many friends that are going to listen to this later on Spotify. How many times I can use keywords in 1,000 words content?
So that's the question that it used to take me a while to figure out, but now thanks to tools like Surfer SEO, I can just plug it in, and it'll tell me exactly how many times other people are using it, and it'll tell you how many times you can actually use that keyword. Some people there's two schools of thought when it comes to SEO. There's people who are all about value, and then people who are a little bit technical. So the people who are all over the value, they usually tell you it doesn't matter. You just have to answer the question. You should, definitely mention it in the title tag and meta description, and at least once in the introduction. But should you use it more? That's a question that those AI tools can help us identify. We used to struggle with this like back in the day, but now we know that Google already gives preference to the top 3 results, top 5 results by showing them maybe like 3 or 4 times. So it depends. Sometimes it actually works just by showing, maybe mention it once or twice.
Right.
Sometimes it. And the thing is with this, with how Google works now is there's I don't know of any page right now in 2021 that only ranks for one keyword. You always end up ranking for 50, especially if you have a lot of content in there. If you have like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 pages, like words in a single page, you end up ranking for 150 keywords. It's crazy. It's all over the place, but it helps. The more keywords you rank for, the more money you'll be. The more traffic you're going to get, the more conversions you're going to be able to get. I think we have another question.
Yep. I'll read it out loud to help our friends here. So can we add LSI keywords in image ALT tags?
To answer that question, yes. The image alt tags, just to give people a little bit of context, what alt text is the text. It was basically built back in the day for people who are hard of hearing or people with disabilities, special needs, when they're using the internet. So if the computer is reading out loud what's on the page, they get to the page. When they get to the image, when they get to the image, they have to read a description. It has to be a description of what's in the image. just so you can help people who are, again, deaf or hard of hearing describe what's on the image. So technically, for Google and for the bots and whatnot, it should just be a tiny little description. So if you have somebody sitting on a bench, old man sitting on a bench in park, for instance. But that doesn't mean that you can't really use keywords. You can, and you should use keywords and image alt text. You shouldn't just not overstuff it. If you have like 5 images on the same article, for instance, don't use the same keyword for every image, because then that you'll confuse the bots and you'll confuse the Google image search as well. So it gets a little bit messy, but just make it a little bit sound more natural. So that's the idea.
Great stuff. I mean, honestly, thank you so much for, we have asked many experts, and, I noticed that a lot of people that are very good at search are very hesitant to share the tools that they use, right? Which obviously, that's the secret behind, everyone knows I'm a native nerd. I love native traffic because I understand it, but we use a bunch of spy tools all the time, right? So thank you so much for being so open. I mean, this is what we're trying to do here, to actually give our friends that are listening in tools that they can use, right? Instead of just giving you like general stuff, well, build a nice blog, customers are going to come. Well, it's obviously more than that. So thank you, Hassan. This is really, really good stuff.
You're welcome. Yeah, I mean, it's my pleasure. I mean, that's what it's all about, just sharing. Because again, you never know who's going to benefit from whatever you're sharing out.
Exactly, 100%.
All right, we have one more question, I think.
Yes, beautiful. What's your take on PBNs in 2021?
Okay, so to answer that question, I'd say that there are people out there who are still using PBNs. And just to explain what PBNs are, private blog networks. Private blog networks means some people might go out there and build their own network of websites, different IPs and whatnot. It's technically against Google kind of like ethics or Google, but it's it's something that people still use today, because some people have been investing a lot of money in having like these stealth networks of websites, their own website. So instead of you going out there and building links on other people's websites, you just use your own network, because you invested the time and the money to build it, and it hasn't been hit by Google yet. There was a lot of updates over this since 2014, and some people have been super good at hiding that stuff. So that's why they're still operational. What I say is you have to be extremely careful by using other people's PBNs or buying backlinks from other people's PBNs. You have to be extremely careful. That's something that has to have a training session on its own. It's very complicated. I really can't say much. About it, because if we get into it, we're not gonna stop today. So that's yeah. But what I can say is, just for now, just be careful. Don't go on Fiverr or legit.com or SEOclerks.com or any of those random websites and just buy backlinks from anybody. You have to be extremely careful. There are places that sell them that are good, that are worth the money, and they could not tell you. They would, if they hide that it's a PBN, you would never know that it's a PBN. So just do your research before you actually kind of invest money in any of these PBNs kind of sort of backlink schemes.
Perfect. Just like anything, really. I mean, research is so important. Oh,
yeah, exactly. Well, backlinks, yeah, this is basically just what I explained. This point here is what I wanted to explain is we didn't need backlinks, and that backlinks were only kind of useful if you're operating in a super competitive niche, just like I said, like with CBD, for instance.
Yeah.
So CBD is like an industry where we're not allowed, they're not allowed to run ads. and they're not allowed to do Facebook ads or Google ads or anything like that. So the only thing they can do is do organic traffic. So they invest all their money in organic traffic. So the competition is extremely high, making it, hard for everybody who wants to compete on the CBD niche, CBD space. So that's why if I wanted to compete in the CBD, I wouldn't really worry about technical. I mean, I would definitely work on it, obviously, but I would invest most of my money in backlinks and content optimization work and stuff. So it makes it really, really hard. So that's the thing. In a lot of other places, especially if you're doing international SEO, if you're doing SEO in French or in German or in Spanish or in Arabic or any other language, Google has not yet caught up. It's not as smart as it is in English. So there's a lot of opportunity there without having to worry about backlinks. We build websites in Arabic and French, and we rank, and this is 2021, and we rank within a few months. And we bring like thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of visitors a month, and we monetize these websites without having to worry about any of this stuff, specifically backlinks, because the international markets, Google is kind of still dumb. We're pretty much dealing with, if we're dealing with Google from 2008 when it comes to like Arabic SEO or French SEO or German SEO. So it's still not up to par as with the AI in English. So it's not as, you wouldn't have to worry about it. So yeah, backlinks again is something that you only worry about if you're in a super competitive niche. If you've been there years and you're competing on specific terms, and that's what it starts getting really interesting.
Awesome. Well, I know the next page is very important.
This is just me.
Listed for Hassan to share his information with us, because you never know. I really, really bet there are a bunch of businesses that could benefit from it. So I insisted that he adds a bit, about himself and the business.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn, and this is our agency website. If you guys have any questions, I'm usually always available on LinkedIn. You can just message me there. Again, I like the idea of being helpful, being sharing information. Yep. No promotional stuff anyway. And I enjoy kind of just doing random consultations here and there with no pressure, with no selling pressure or anything like that. Just because I like to kind of just learn about people's businesses and how they're doing things, and where kind of SEO or email kind of comes into play. But yeah, I mean, you guys are welcome to message me, get in touch with me. Yeah.
And if you don't mind, we'll add your website and information in the comments. My team will be so happy to do that. So if it's okay with you, let's take just a few more questions. If we have time, I have a few from last night as well. Oh, wow. So much positive feedback. Thank you so much, guys. All right. So for Anitzur's question, the best platform for affiliate marketing, I bet the question is, in terms of search, in general, for us, we know that there are a bunch, for native. For search, I think it depends more on the affiliate network. But Hassan, if you know more.
What I can say is, if it's an affiliate network that has offers that have a little bit of brand recognition, a little bit of people who are already searching for it, whatever they're selling, and you can actually make your page rank for those specific brand words with review or best or this or that, you can actually benefit from the traffic that they're already, it's just out there, people out there Googling or using Bing or using any search engine. You can actually optimize for the specific keywords for the product, for the offers or products that they have. So it's not, I don't think there's anything specific, any specific affiliate network. You could definitely work with as many as you want if you have a website with a lot of pages, a lot of products, so you can just promote whatever you like. And there's I don't know, I could say thousands of them out there.
Absolutely. All right. Want to know if go by product review, the domains with high authority will come on the first page of Google. So as a new blogger, which types of keywords make SaaS rank? That's a good one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you have to learn to use tools like Ahrefs keyword research tools or SEMrush. So both of them are good. You always go for the long tail keywords. maybe you want to have add a specific product review, or long tail keywords, like keywords that have like 3 or 4 words in them, or more. And always look for low competition. So what these tools are going to help you with is identify these keywords that have low competition, not too much competition. You won't need too many backlinks. You kind of just like optimize for those and try to, that's what they call the low hanging fruit. Like the easiest money you can make is basically just try to optimize for these keywords. So you do that, you do that, and you'll definitely see traffic coming in. The other thing to do is look for trends. Maybe there's a new offer in the market. There's a new product out there that just was, like shared or released. So if you have information about a product that's coming out in a few months, or it just came out, and there's a little bit of research about it, because whatever company already spent money doing like social push or native ads or whatever, so it's already in people's minds. So whatever, anybody who does like a big campaign, a big advertising campaign, offline and online, that there's going to be search. The search is going to low. So you can actually optimize for those specific keywords that are for trending new products, and you can rank within a week or two, because there's usually no competition, because Google doesn't have any information about these new names or these new products and these new brands. So that's why you want to kind of look for trends that have to do with specific products, and that usually always works as well. You have to be kind of like up there, aware of what's going on in the market, so you can actually like quickly cook up a page, optimize it quickly, and just let it index and get traffic.
Beautiful. So for me personally, it would be so helpful. You shared a bunch of tools with us today. So, let's, I'm going to take my notebook here. Let's say I really want to start doing some search, traffic tomorrow. I'm going to put Facebook aside. I want to build my own blog and try to make some money like that. Tell me like at least the top 3 tools that I should be investing in that are actually going to be helpful. Ahref, for example, I bet is one of them, but just let's go through them again.
Okay, so the first one obviously is Ahrefs.
Okay.
You can get an account for $100 a month for like the personal package. Surfer SEO, you can have an account for about $50 a month. And those Ahrefs usually does all kinds of keyword research, all the audit tools. It's going to be more than enough for a lot of things. It replaces a lot of old kind of tools. Surfer SEO specifically for content optimization. So you can optimize, know exactly what to put in each article. Great. And there's a tiny little plugin called Link Whisper. Link Whisper, that's a plugin for WordPress for internal linking. I don't think you're going to need it at first if you have a small website, but if you have an already established website with hundreds of pages, you might want to, just like invest in it, so it can help you with the internal links and whatnot. I would also kind of invest in a course, and not just any random course. There's a lot of courses out there, but just so it can give you an idea of what to do when it comes to technical SEO specifically, because there's a lot out there. It could take years for you to learn.
Do you actually know of any good courses? I mean, our affiliates always ask us, and we know exactly which are the good ones for native and social and whatnot. Please tell us.
So the one I recommend, the only thing is the guy usually opens it only once a year. It's called SEOblueprint.com. SEOblueprint.com. It's about $600, but it's the best investment. I mean, any other person would have priced it for $3,000 or $4,000, but this one is. It's not just. If it was $3,000, I would have paid it, gladly, without any issues. Because the guy, his name is Glenn Alsop. I think he's British. He's been around for a long time, and he's amazing with the kind of insights that he puts out there. But SEOblueprint.com, that's the place. That's the place you want to go if it's open. If not, just sign up for the waiting list. I don't know when he's going to open it again, but it's well worth the money, and it's I think about 100 videos or more of super detailed kind of like here's what needs to be done here and I've had a few courses, but they're not in English, and I probably should do one in English. English, to be honest. I'm too busy.
No, the more English-speaking clients you have, you're like, this is a good
This is
idea.
all I have. I just have English-speaking clients. I do have a few French clients, but
You do? How is your French?
oh, I'm in Morocco, so
Oh, yeah.
it's almost native. So
Beautiful. Well, I mean, this is really great. So one of my questions to you, when you get a new client that needs help with their search, right? They're gonna want to be on on everyone's top of mind awareness. Basically, where do you start? I mean, what's the number one thing that you usually do to help them to really get their brand out there?
you know, always, the thing is that I always do is the audit. We don't even talk to people without doing the audit. Yeah, that's the first thing. We just, if it's like for a proposal that we want to send to somebody, we just look at the overall kind of an overview of the site, how it's doing, if there's any kind of like opportunities in the market. If not, we kind of like just look around and see if there's anything that we can help them with right away. And we don't actually, I've had a few occasions where I've said no to people because we knew that we couldn't help them because they're in a market either extremely competitive or there's not enough demand for whatever they're selling. So kind of like find out how we can help these people, because again, you don't want to sign somebody and you know that you can't really like help them get anywhere, not more traffic, not more conversions. So the audit is the first, always the first thing. But that's for already established websites. But for new websites, for instance, we have clients who are still like in the process of building. We work on the content strategy, what we're going to put it in the content, whether it's a blog, whether it's like service pages or product pages. So that's what we do. It's content and technical work.
And for content, I love content. Actually, part of my my speech when we met at Affiliate World, part of it was on content. So I remember for pre-sales, when we do pre-sales for native, it's so important to to be super. We actually have tools you can use to get ideas on content, but do you guys also use, like, I know for us, we use a lot of tools like even Grammarly to make sure that the content is readable, or Hemingway's editor. Do you guys use tools like that as well for content?
Yes. We do have a kind of a writing kind of team with us. We have like English writers, French writers, even some Arabic writers as well. And we do use all the tools we can use, anything to make the life of the writer is easy. We invest in it. There's a lot of AI tools now that can help you with like even writing some of the content or giving you ideas or outlines. And one of the things that Server SEO does in the tool that I'm referring to today, it does actually give you a content brief, a content outline, as in like, here's what you should put in the content. And so it makes it a lot easier for our writers. And Grammarly is also something that we have to use. We're not native English speakers, but even for native English speakers,
of course. I mean, I spent all my whole life in the US, and I still, I catch myself, especially with the readability part, when you put something through Hemingway editor, is just, even if grammatically everything is impeccable, it just might sound off. So cool. It's so interesting to look. I'm actually, honestly, I'm not just saying this because we're live, but I'm actually, I'm excited to listen to this again, note down all the tools, because we have so many affiliates that do search traffic right now, and I really want us to be prepared on the questions. And that's how my idea was to invite you and for us to speak about search today. I noticed how profitable it is, right? There was this misconception that affiliates that do search are not going to make as much money as affiliates that do native or social. Well, honestly, I can tell you from the dashboard that's not true. Definitely, it takes more work. That's the difference that we need to be honest about, right? You really have to put in the work when you do search. But with that in mind, promise, this is the last question. How long does it typically take? Let's say you take, in this case, let's focus on an affiliate product. You take a product, you create a blog or a website. Typically, how long does it take to get at least that one sale that's going to make you excited?
Yeah, I want to tell you, like any good old SEO, I'm just gonna say it depends.
Mm.
That's always the question. That's always the answer. It depends. But like seriously, the thing that I can say is, if you're working in a competitive niche, if you know you already have a lot of people competing on that product, especially the organic side,
Mm.
you're gonna have, especially with a new website and whatnot, you're gonna have a little bit of competition ahead of you. There's that curve that you have to cross. It could be 6 months. It could be 9 months. But if we're talking about something that might have been just like dropped in the market and there's demand for it, I'm trying to think of an example. This is not a specifically affiliate example, but in
Mm.
2016, I think there was the Pokemon Go kind of craze.
Mm.
So that's when people started writing Pokemon Go. There was a lot of like not as much competition back then. So I know friends who kind of just went up and created Shopify stores selling merch, and they made so much money over like a year or so before they either got shut down or just like decided to stop or whatever. But they made, as they say, they made bank. They made a lot of money from search by kind of leveraging the fact that there was no competition over a lot of these keywords. Yeah.
Smart. Yeah, so this ties in really with your advice earlier to really do the research and keep a pulse on what customers want, right? I mean, a lot of us have marketing backgrounds or business backgrounds, but in the end, the psychology is quite simple, right? Whatever you do, even if it's email or search, you have to understand what the customer needs to an extent. Even that image or the headline or the words you're going to use for your blog is going to be important. So it's I agree. That was a strong point. All right. I'm sorry. We're gonna have to do another one because I still had questions, but I know everyone had a long day, so I don't want to go overboard. But please, now you have to say yes because you're live. Please come back. We'll do another episode. Maybe we'll do just questions next time around. And
Sure. Yeah, we can definitely do Q&A session. I'm available.
thank you. We would
Available.
love
Yeah.
that. We would love that. And I like to do this a lot. So if it's one thing you want our viewers and our listeners to take away from today's podcast, what would that be? It can be anything.
I don't know. To be honest, there's a lot of advice, now that I'm getting older, that I the experience that I've
Wiser.
accumulated over the years. Yeah, a little bit wiser. I'm still crazy. My daughter still thinks I'm a kid because I
So
make a
sweet.
lot more noise than she does.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, what I can say honestly is just never underestimate anything really that you do when we're talking about business, whatever the tax that you do. Give it whatever you're trying to do, especially when it comes to organic or email, even if it seems like a hard thing or like it might take a little bit longer, just consider doing it because it's one of those things that you work on now that's going to give you benefit later. And it's like life philosophy. It's try not to work on instant gratification, but delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is much better because it gives you a lot more bang for your buck, pretty much. If you work hard now, it's going to take maybe a year to come see that, just start seeing those results. It's just like with anything in life. And we've grown to be a little bit more leaning towards, instant gratification rather than delayed gratification. So that's just be patient, just do what you have to do and have faith in what you're doing. And, don't be impatient, and especially when it comes to business. So.
Well, that was fantastic. Obviously, I agree. That was really good. And thank you, Hassan, so much for being here with us today.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. I mean, it's always fun to do these things. So yeah, it's always my pleasure.
Thank you. Well, thank you everyone for listening in. Again, if you're listening to us on Spotify or any podcast network that you usually prefer, please come back on YouTube or Facebook. You're going to love the slides. Plus, you get to see how handsome Hassan is. So that's going to be a plus to your day. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for always being here. And give us ideas if you want us to discuss specific topics next time. Just let us know. We always want to bring information that you like and appreciate. So have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for listening in.